Hi guys. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about something that you might come across in your diet that's going to create a lot of frustration and you're going to wonder what's going on, and that's when weight loss stops. You could have the best diet in the world, you're going along, you're seeing great weight loss, and all of a sudden one day it just seems like nothing's happening anymore. You're still following your diet, but the scale isn't moving. And that's going to make you wonder, what am I doing wrong? Maybe my body's like broken or something. What's happening? How come I'm not losing weight? So there's a few things you need to think about if weight loss has stopped and you've still been following your diet. The first thing you need to think about is how low in calories is your diet. Because if you're on a very low calorie diet plan, say you're only eating around like 1,000 to 1,200 calories a day, there's a really good chance that your metabolism is running a lot slower now. Because when you go on a very low calorie diet like this, the body eventually is going to understand what's happening and it's going to say, holy, she's trying to starve us here. So it's going to slow down. Everything's going to happen a lot slower. It's basically trying to protect you from starving to death. So it's conserving energy, and as it conserves energy, this means you're not going to lose fat anymore. If anything, it's going to hold on to its fat even harder because it knows that it needs to survive. So if you're on a low calorie diet, the solution there is to raise those calories up. It's going to be a little scary and you might think you're going to lose weight, but take a few days, bring them back up to maintenance, which for most women is around 15 to 2,000 calories a day, depending on how active you are, and eat at that level for a few days. And this is going to tell your body, she's not starving us anymore, we can speed back up. And then after it speeds right back up, you go back to your diet and weight loss all of a sudden starts happening again. So that's the first thing to think about doing. Secondly, the next thing you want to look at is how accurately you're measuring your food. One problem that happens with a lot of women is at first they'll be measuring out how much they're eating, and then after a while they just start eyeballing it. And at first eyeballing it works, but as time goes on, your eyeballing becomes less and less accurate, and before you know it, you're taking in maybe an extra 200, 300 calories a day. And 200 and 300 calories a day, that could actually offset your weight loss entirely. So you really need to be accurate. Same thing as if you're making supper and you're having a little bit to nibble here and there. You might think, oh, it's just a little bite, but choose the wrong foods and that little bite, it's going to add up. So have a good look and make sure you're being accurate with your calorie intakes, because if you aren't, it's going to hinder progress. And finally, the third thing you want to look at is whether your maintenance is actually your new diet intake. And what I mean by this is, if you're someone who, say, you've lost 20 pounds and you've been following a diet, well, now that you're 20 pounds lighter, your maintenance calorie requirements are going to be lower. You just don't have as much body weight to support. So what happens here for some women is they're following their diet, but then they lose the weight and then they're eating at maintenance levels. So really they think they're dieting, but they're not anymore. So what you need to do after each 10 to 20 pounds that you lose, you need to reassess your calorie intake. Because chances are your diet calorie intake is going to have to come down at this point in order to keep fat loss moving. So those are three things that you really want to look at. If you're struggling and you're not seeing fat loss take place and you don't know why, chances are one of those three factors is coming into play. So if you resolve that factor, you're going to be right back on track to success.